Welcome to the Introduction to Year 7 and Key Stage 3 Science. My name is Kevin Moulton and I'm the Head of Science at the Compton. So firstly, Year 7 have 3 science lessons every fortnight, and all of these lessons are double periods, 100 minutes long, which means that we have plenty of time to carry out practical work. This does increase in Year 8 and Year 9 to 4 double lessons every fortnight. All our schemes of work, and that means lesson resources for classwork and homework, are made in-house by teachers in our own department, but they're all based on national curriculum requirements, meaning that they cover the breadth of subjects in biology, chemistry, and physics as every other student in the country. As well as learning some of those fundamental parts of science, students also have the opportunity to conduct lots of practical investigations, which also help build up their scientific skills. This programme of study, which links knowledge and skills together, gives students a great foundation for GCSE science, which they study at Key Stage 4. And some of the same concepts are revisited, and the skills are pretty much exactly the same. So as well as the peer assessment and self-assessment that takes place in class of their classwork and homework, which means that they get lots of up-to-date feedback on how they're doing, we also do teacher-marked end-of-unit tests. This is normally every 1 to 2 units, depending on their length, and it means that we have an opportunity to check students' subject knowledge as well as those skills that I've already talked about to see how they're progressing throughout the year and, in fact, throughout the key stage. As well as these end-of-unit assessments, students also sit some larger assessments throughout the year, mainly at the end of each year of 7, 8, and 9, that cover all the units that they've covered. This means that we're able to see how they've done in terms of agglomerating lots of knowledge and lots of skills over a larger amount of time, seeing as this is one of the key skills that they will need at GCSE. The information that we gather from these assessments allows the teacher to monitor the progress of students in their class, and also we look at it from a department level to see how students in different classes are doing, and also to identify any students who might need extra support. If they're not making the progress that we'd expect them to, based on their baseline threshold, then it means we can put in intervention strategies to support them. As well as their class books, which they make notes in, do practicals in, classwork and homework, students also have green exercise books. These are called SSA books. That stands for Science Skills Assessments, and they stay at school because they're used every time that the students do a science skills assessment on one of these skills. It could be planning an investigation, making a hypothesis or prediction, carrying out a risk assessment, collecting results, plotting graphs, and then using those results and graphs to make conclusions and evaluations. Most of these tasks are marked by the teacher, which is why we keep them in school, and every piece of work is given feedback. No grades, no marks. This is all formative, not summative assessment, and it means that students can look back when they're about to do a practical and be assessed on one of these skills. They can look back at the last time they did one and see what the target they were given was. It means that over the 3 years they can track their progress in these important skills, and so can their teachers, even from one year to another. And then at the end of those 3 years, take the book home, they have a record of the work and what they've achieved, and they can also use those same skills at GCSE. So homework is set regularly according to the homework timetable. You can see this online as well as your child. It's on Show My Homework. You can see the due date and exactly what needs to be completed. It's normally differentiated as well so that students who want further challenge or those who need more support are able to access each task, since classes are taught in mixed ability groups throughout Key Stage 3. The work should take about 34 to 40 minutes to complete. And obviously, sometimes students wish to spend more time and to put lots of effort in, and we do obviously appreciate it a lot when that happens, and students will get good feedback whenever they put good effort into work. Sometimes during longer holidays, such as Christmas and Easter, the students set projects on a unit that they've just studied, and they're given an option. So they can choose to make a poster or a model, Sometimes they even try to make an edible model. As you can see in these pictures, the effort that some go into is great, and it's really nice because students get to get their creative juices flowing and use skills from their other subjects and apply it to their science knowledge. So regularly throughout the year, not just in science but in all subjects, parents receive interim reports. In this report, we give a threshold from exceptional to excellent, secure, developing, foundation, or progressing towards foundation. And the most important thing in these reports is to look at the box next to this threshold because it says whether or not your child is making expected progress, or is exceeding expected progress, or making less than expected progress. And that's important because it means that you have an opportunity to celebrate success, but also, if a child's making less than expected progress, to drill down and find out why. It could be that the last couple of topics have been especially difficult, or your child found the assessment hard in terms of the questions that they were being asked or the skills that were being assessed. This is quite useful diagnostically to find out what they need to work on in future. But as I've said before, over time, if they're persistently making less than expected progress, then that's something that you can talk about with the teacher at parents' evening. And it's also something that we will have noticed as a department and hopefully have put some sort of intervention in place to support your child. The idea is that throughout the 3 years, most of the time, they want to be making expected progress in order to be set up well for GCSEs. So apart from what they're doing in class, there's plenty that they can do at home, either to help with homework or in addition to homework, especially in the run up to assessments and, of course, the end of year assessment, when it's a good time to draw together everything that they've learned and try and bring it back to the forefront of their memory to demonstrate what they've achieved. So one of the ways you can do this is using online resources, many of which are free. And the first is BBC Bitesize, which I'm sure you may be familiar with. This is the page that comes up. Students can simply press biology, chemistry, or physics, or even science at the bottom if they're not sure which topic. Scroll and find the topic that they are trying to revise, and there's plenty of interactive resources for them to use. It's really brilliant. We recommend they use it frequently, and it's not boring either. Another free resource is Seneca. As you can see on the screen now, this is really interactive, and this is demonstrating lots of different subjects, but science is also extremely good on this. It teaches them a concept using videos, GIFs, text that they can read through at their own pace, and then immediately tests them. Not only does it test them and mark them, it gives them feedback and also records their progress. So if a child finds a specific part difficult, for example, parts of the cell, Seneca will remember this, and a week later, when they next log in, it will specifically give them questions on that topic. It's designed by neuroscientists to help students make quick progress and to improve their memory. And we've seen great progress for this from certain students using Seneca at both Key Stage 3 and Key Stage 4. This term, students will be signing up during science lessons or as part of a homework activity and joining their class on this Seneca platform. So all the work that they do, their teacher can see, and teachers can also set homework on Seneca as well. Whenever this happens, it's also the instructions written on Show My Homework. Students can revise independently as well as being set assignments by their teachers. They just have to log on and choose what they want to revise. Additionally, you can go to Settings within the main menu and add a parent's email address to the student account so that you can see what they've been revising or even do it together. A third resource, which we're starting to use even more now, and this is something that's not freely available, but we have bought into in the science department, is Educate. All students already have an account. They don't need to sign up as they do with Seneca. Again, they can revise independently by selecting tests from the homepage or complete tests set by their teachers. And this year, we're hoping that it will be used more and more at Key Stage 3, and we have an aim that students will sit at least one Educate test every 3 weeks, because this means that we'll be testing them on every single topic that they do, and we'll have a good track record of their progress in certain topics, as well as their end of unit tests. It means that we also have information before the test that allows us to work out where strengths and weaknesses lie. And as you can see there on the third bullet point, teachers can see exactly which questions students have answered correctly and incorrectly, and they can give immediate feedback as well as the feedback that's generated by the website itself. Students can query things that they don't understand. It leaves a comment on the teacher's platform. The teacher can then respond, and the student can see it straight away. This is really nice feedback dialogue that we were never able to really achieve when we were only using exercise books, which obviously sometimes are at school, sometimes at home. This is what the Educate platform looks like. There's often diagrams. Student simply reads the question, looks at the diagram, and the nice thing with Educate is that they actually have to type in their answer, so it's not just multiple choice. They can't leave it blank and they can't guess. They are forced really to use their notes or use BBC Bitesize to find the answer to the question. And then they progress and they immediately find out if they were right or wrong. If they were wrong, it often comes up with an explanation as to why. So the Key Stage 3 curriculum lasts 2.5 years. That's all of Year 7, all of Year 8, and then half of Year 9. Looking ahead, Year 9 students are given the opportunity to review the key ideas in preparation for a final Key Stage 3 science exam. We have previously done 2, and at the moment we are reviewing this and looking to only do 1 Key Stage 3 summative science exam. During the exam, they're assessed on all the scientific content that they've covered in Years 7, 8, and 9, including the key scientific skills that we've mentioned already. And this is a lot, and it is quite difficult, but we do give them plenty of time to revise, and we support them with that in school, so that it's not just what they're able to achieve at home. The results of that assessment, in conjunction with all the information that we have on how they've progressed throughout Key Stage 3, from their Educate assessments, their end of unit assessments, teacher assessment, and end of year assessments, all of that is used to make a decision as to which GCSE course is most suited to each student and that they will start in Year 9 and then progress to during Years 10 and 11. It's important to say that when those decisions are made, nothing is necessarily final. We want every single student to make the best possible progress that they can at GCSE, and the decisions that we make will entirely be based on that basis to make sure that they're in a group where they're learning at the correct pace and drilling down to the most important skills that they need to succeed. So in summary, as well as the platforms that I've mentioned, it's also possible to use a revision guide. There's a picture here on the right-hand side. We do offer the Key Stage 3 Science Study Guide, which is published by CGP. It's the green one in the image, and we will be offering an opportunity to purchase that using a school 50% discount, and you'll receive a letter about this soon. However, you are able to buy these at bookshops and similar ones as well, or ones that separate by biology, chemistry, and physics. Any revision guide or workbook for Key Stage 3 Science will be appropriate, as all of them follow the national curriculum. So one thing that we really enjoy in the science department is running science club and getting students involved in extracurricular activities that enrich their knowledge and their passion for science. This year we're running science club every week to Thursday, and we'll be publicising this in school. We've also had lots of students enter the Big Ideas challenges each year. This year it was the Great Exhibition of 1851. Recognition from Big Ideas for the number of students that entered. We've also had guest speakers in the last couple of years come from, example, the Cricket Institute in King's Cross. They came to speak to Year 8 about genetic engineering. We're always looking for more opportunities to expand students' horizons in this way. So how can you support your child in science? First and foremost, it's really important if you're able to regularly check that your child is completing their science homework as we'd expect. Discuss what they've learned in science and how it applies to their homework. Please also make sure that they come fully equipped to lessons. This is really important, especially having a calculator. You can talk to them about science documentaries, films, things that are on Netflix, and help them revise if at all possible. Practice keywords with them. just to keep them engaged. I hope this has been useful for you. If you have any specific questions about the Key Stage 3 science course, please don't hesitate to contact me at school.